All right, welcome everybody. We're going to do a War of the Spark draft. I'm going to switch to this battlefield view so that it triggers my lovely sponsor logo. Card Kingdom is my sponsor. They sell all sorts of Magic stuff at their website, cardkingdom.com. You can find my affiliate link down below if you want to get to it that way. They've been taking Modern Horizons pre-orders. They're going to have tons of singles. If you want to break the new Modern format that is going to certainly be shaken up by this new set, you can get all your singles there. If you need to sell some of your cards to have the liquidity to get that stuff, they give a 30% trade-in bonus if you want to get store credit for your old singles and whatnot. So please give them a shout out, give them a shot, and as I give them a shout out. Thanks, Card Kingdom. Let's dive in and go to draft view. Well, true junk or rare. So if we're going to be committing to our rare drafting principles, this is an ultimate test of it, because we're probably not going to play this. I mean, there's some world in which we take this and end up with a wild Planeswalker deck where we actually want it, but it's almost a 0%er. But then, like, what are we giving up? I don't like this. I don't like this. I really don't like Jang. So none of the uncommons are jumping out at me. There's two. These are decent, but they're white. Suddenly we end up with looking at Laptop Reaver and Epiphany as, like, the best picks here. And so I think it is actually a gem spot. This is the clear best card. If I'm taking it for deck power, I'm going to take Epiphany. You can make it, like, if you really like black, you could also make a justification for Reaver. But honestly, I think this is exactly the time that you take gem rare draft, because especially, again, pack one, pick one. We don't know what colors we're going to be. We may end up green. We may end up red, red green or something, and we don't even play these anyway. So pack one, pick one is especially a place to go ahead and take some gems. And also, so I use MTGA Tracker to have a little window up here that shows me during a draft what I have, how many of that I have in my collection. And we have one Ignite the Beacon. So let's also, let's see, we got how many? We got 10 rares. So yeah, we'll try and exit the draft, see if I can remember. Well, let's see if we get another one. But we'll go and craft up on Ignite the Beacons. Ooh, that's another one to probably take for... We have 2 Karns, so we could take Karn and get gems there. But let's see if there's a... Now, this is like a great synergistic... These synergy cards are the ones that I may be willing to take over gems, but... Yeah, Reset Press. Somebody, it may have been you, and now you're pointing out it again. But somebody else pointed that out to me as well. I hadn't honestly, frankly, dove too deep into the features of MTGA Tracker, but there's some good ones there that we can use to speed up that whole where are we at with collection building process. So we'll do that next time. Have I ever considered consulting for people on prototype design? I've, in the abstract, considered consulting, but never beyond just that idle thought. Yeah, Taskmaster is great, Weird is great, Gems are great. That's where we're at here. I'm tempted to gem draft again, frankly. I don't think either of these is that much, but I don't think we're at like Dimir in GRN levels of bot forcing or anything with War of the Spark, but I definitely want to lean towards red-blue. The floor on the red-blue decks you get in the format is just significantly better than the other colors. So I think you could justify the gem draft, but I'm going to take the weird because I think I want to have the possibility of landing in blue-red that much. But I get you. If you take the gems there, I don't blame you. I think that's a fine choice, a fine place to gem draft as well. Well, we've got just the old murderer's row of white. We don't exactly want to be there in general, but I'm also willing to listen and go there if ordered. And if we're ordered, but we could also take a New Horizons. But yeah, we may just have to take a white here. Yeah, Sunblade Angel, I don't know if I would call it a mini bomb, Nick, but I am with you that unanswered, it tends to just win games. It's imminently answerable by a lot of much cheaper cards, like this kind of thing, but it dies to removal is not a open and shut case against a creature. I'm just pointing out that it does have the... it's somewhat strikeout home run that way. When it lives, it's a home run, but if they do have the removal, it's going to be a strikeout because of the huge gap between mana cost of the removal spells and the cost of this. So that's the consideration. So we got Morario strongly disagreeing with Nick, suggesting that this in fact stinks. And I wonder if is Pegasus better? Like, when they kill this, it's not as much of a blowout, and it has a huge impact on the game. X4 Roland likes the arrow above either of these. That's interesting. Removal is removal, I suppose. I don't want to take the New Horizons here. I'm going to take the Pegasus. I like Pegasus and Arrow as the choices there. And it looks like we get an Arrow here instead. If we want to, I guess we're getting the signs to go white. I mean, this is just the best card here, right? And now a Wanderer's Strike. All right, this is what I mean. We don't end up in white often, but sometimes it just feels like the picks cascade towards that. I mean, we could take a Burning Prophet here instead. But if we just go ahead and take the strike and solidify ourselves in white, then we're not married to this weird at all. So I just want to take the strike and fall backwards into white. Fine. Late Conjurant here. So we'll take that. Enforcer Griffin. Might just want to take the band together here. Yeah, I'm with Nick. That's why I took the strike. I didn't want to take the red card and just assume like we're red-white. I want to just look at what the bots want us to be. And yeah, it's kind of a late ban, so we're going to take this and hedge towards green-white proliferate. Pick 8 has a New Horizons. We passed a New Horizons pick 1, so let's see if we get back-to-back New Horizons and really solidify ourselves here. I don't care about Dovin. I've never really played Dovin. He's been annoying, and I don't think he's unplayable, but I just feel like he's not risen above annoying often enough for me to ever prioritize him. I don't know, maybe I'll play him someday, but we'll take the Horizons here. All right, the other Horizons did not make it back around, but the 2 white cards in the pack did. These were the only 2 white cards that I remember even glancing at, so this is great to see. And we want a counter-based combat trick to support what we hope is going to be a blue-white, green-white proliferate theme, or just the populace. J-Watt wants the promotion. Let's look at curve 2 on this one. Both work with the theme. I think I'm going to take the promotion. It's weird to prioritize combat tricks, but one that has a +1/+1 counter component is a pretty big game, and the +1 and the first strike tend to successfully win the combats in the way you want your combat tricks to do, and leaving the +1/+1 behind is pretty great. Is it ever a chance that only one color is open in a draft? I'm not sure what you mean by that. That's kind of impossible. Like, I don't know how, like, what you need to do is, like, imagine you could make a table, make your own table of seats, and put each seat into a color pair or whatever and see if you could come up with a configuration that only made one open. But I suppose if you did something like that, it would be wide open. And we had a mono red deck on Monday. I don't think there's a chance we're splashing weird, but we can keep it in consideration if you want to. But I'm going to take the battlefield promotion here, as indicated. Sure hope we don't play either of these, but, well, Krovod is better in a... You can actually run this if you ended up in the rare blue-white, but we're going to take Augur for gems, or for, actually for Vault Progress. A lot of blue. We're best of 3, so we can take steady aim. It's unlikely to make it in, but we're not playing any of the blue cards. Snare Spinner, a fine pickup at pick 12, given where we're headed. Charm Stray, unlikely to be part of where we end up, but we'll keep it there. All right, we've got a useless rare, so this is a pure gem pick, and what have we got competing with it? Basically nothing. I mean, this is just gems, right? Like, what... I mean, I guess it's a consolation for a miserably bad pack. Like, there's not even a... No, I'm not going to take the weird, and we're not splashing a Harvest. The Harvest requires sacrifice or an extra black. Yeah, we do have Horizons, but not over... No, I'm not going to worry about a splash over pure gems. Just take the gems. None of those cards are important enough to take over a nice gem pick like that. Here we're going to take Evolution Sage over Bloom Hulk. Work this theme. Challenger Troll, nice. Yeah, take that here. Hey, that's kind of a reward. Slam it. Might wheel, but I'm not going to take that risk. We're just going to take it. I saw the Wanderer strike and got happy, but then there's a Bloom Hulk with more proliferate. See, I just don't think we're going to do this. So now I need some help. Are we doing a Wanderer strike or Bloom Hulk? We have one strike. Here's your curve. No 4s yet at all. Only a couple of 5s. Yeah, I was leaning Hulk, but removal is so good, right? But so is a on-curve Bloom Hulk. Valhalla's likes the strike. All right, I'm in. Take the Globe for assisting possible future splashes. Defiant Strike is not unreasonable, especially if we end up with some of the white first strikers. It's a pretty reasonable floor to cycle for 1 white. But yeah, if we're going to cycle for 1 white, I'd rather cycle for 2 colorless and have some splash potential. You were heavily outvoted, my friend. We'll take a Courage here. We've been facing a lot of crocodiles and seen how good they can be against the kind of dominant archetype of red-blue. But we'll take first Courage here over first Croc, I think. And now we can take first Croc over first Light Shield. Light Shield is playable in this deck. Maybe we do. Do we want to? No, we're all right on 3s. Yeah, we could pick up a Stray here, and it is we're not gonna get a chance at another one. But I'm also not interested in really kind of forcing the Stray deck. Not forcing, but or even I'd rather take the Croc. How to get into R&D? It's a complicated question. If you want to get into play design, you need to prove yourself in terms of either content or Pro Tour, competitive level accomplishments. That's kind of the resume builder there, is just showing that you can break formats or iterate formats really well. Yeah, start a podcast, right? I mean, not only I had the podcast and everything, but understand I also did. Let's see, I had spent about 10 years in the game industry, specifically working on transliterating physical card and board games into digital, and so that was really the big selling point for me as a candidate, given the job that I had. Anyway, in general, my advice in pursuing a career goal or pursuing an industry is to, in this world, just start doing it. First of all, like, if you want to make games, then make games, and then when you get yourself into an opportunity to convince someone to pay you to make games, you can point at the games you've been making and say, here's why you should pay me to make games. So that's, do the thing you want to get paid to do because you love it, and then give yourself a portfolio to convince people that you should be paid to do that. The original pitch, I think Marshall maybe has oversold how much of the pie was get Ryan a job at Wizards. I think the real, definitely it was like, oh, that would be because I had already been I'd been writing articles, and we were like, oh, that would expand that. But I think fundamentally the birth of LR was the awareness that we were having these great conversations about Magic at poker, and why not record them and see if we can add to the content that I was doing that way, All right, back to the draft. Thank you for the patience as we tangent. We're a tangenting stream sometimes. We're talking Stray versus... Oh, we had this Croc opportunity, right? We don't even have one yet. Great, we'll take the Croc. Best of 3, we can take this Forced Landing as over the Light Shield. Light Shield keeps trying to get into our deck. Maybe we should just take that. Yeah, landing is nice for a sideboard, but we would play a shield. Yeah, we need more going on here, which we'll keep in mind. And no, we don't have a landing yet. But in best of 3, I'll take I'd want 2 easy and maybe a third. Like, if you get the flyer deck, you'll just play all of these that you can. They're Doomblades. All right, well, we'll take Light Shield. We're definitely doing that thing here, so let's do that thing. Here we go. I like this a lot. Let's get a counter on the links. These are all playable in our deck, which is something... Well, this isn't playable. I mean, castable. This isn't particularly playable for us, though. We already have a Steady Aim. I think it was the thing we had in our board for flyers. Ceratok or 4-drop. I think 1 Ceratok. I like the Ceratok. We hope to fill this flying role with white creatures, so let's take the Ceratok. Tron wants the Silverwing. I'm hoping to... Not that there's any great 4-drop flyers, but white does have flyers that we can fill out our deck with, so I want to add to the ground beef. We hope not to play this. We can actually take... Let's take a Transmutation as a possible splash against green/God. We have 4 5-drops now, I think. And we don't have to play all of them. We could end up cutting one of them. We could decide Ceratok is better than Croc or whatever. Don't think we're playing the Triumph. Mobilized District goes in most decks if you can support it mana-wise, but Apparition is right on point with what we are up to. Luis and Marshall have been a bit down on this, but I think I've been down on this mostly just because I'm down on white. I think with what we're trying to do, if we can get an Apparition through, we'll be super happy. Yeah, we can just try not to attack into a Reach Ogre this event. I'll go ahead and take the Apparition over the gems. One reason is I think hopefully we can wheel this New Horizons, although we didn't in Pack 1 Pick 1, there was a New Horizons we passed and didn't get it. But if we can get a second New Horizons... going turn 2 Grateful Apparition into turn 3 Horizons onto Apparition, turn it into a 3/3 is have removal right now or die, Oppo. So I really like setting up that combo in this deck. And we need 2s, like we want low drops. That was a priority here. We could take Kiora, but we're not triggering Kiora with too much. We get Croc. Actually, we get Troll, Ceratok, Croc, and Hulk if we wanted to Kiora. But we also have Splashable Epiphany. We could revisit that Spark Harvest splash, especially since I am actively looking for another New Horizons now. But let's take Epiphany. Yeah, I like if we're gonna, let's look for an Epiphany splash here. We're close with a New Horizons and a Globe. If we got a third one, third source, I would not even need to play an island. So let's take that and see if we can get that played in our deck. Hey, speak of the need. This is perfect. There's Divine Arrow as well, but this is just what the doctor ordered, a 2-drop splash ramp creature in. We could splash a D-Spark. We could have a forced landing for the board. We probably wheel this. And then here I would rather just have an arrow though, which is kind of funny. Like this looks all sweet and uncommon and gold and everything, but arrow just does more of what I want, I think. This gets rid of planeswalkers and stuff. We're just gonna take arrow though. Here's a Narset that I'm sad to see, but our choice is really between these two. What do you think? Are we getting some more removal? I mean, there's an Iron Bully that works in the theme, but I think this is just Pegasus or banned. J.A. Carter, thank you. Glad I'm bringing you back and you're finding usefulness in our time together. Yeah, we have, but we're not that short on removal. Let's see what we have. We have Wanderer's Strike, Band Together already, and 2 arrows. So we have some removal. This is pretty conditional. Don't really want any more of these. And creature count. We're not really playing this. Let's get rid of that. This could be, oops. No. This is like, put that in 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 creatures right now. Yeah, a lot of, this is a close one. One thing to remember about tight picks like this, you know, if we're just in agony over what's correct, Band Together or Trusted Pegasus, the thing you can take heart in knowing is that the more difficult the pick is, the more close together the actual adjustment to your expected win percentage is going to be between the 2 picks. So you can rest easy knowing that, oh, well, they're 2 close picks, so picking wrong is not actually going to be that bad. Oh, you want to talk Griffin? Wow, X4 rolling, you like Griffin over Band Together. I can't get behind that. I think I'm going to take more removal. That's what I've decided. We're going to remove. Here's a Ceratok we can take. Here's a 2/5, but I'd rather just pay 1 more mana and get a 4/5 trample that does some stuff. We can add to our top end with a Worm or a splashed Manticore, because we are going to be able to splash whatever, basically whatever here. We have a New Horizons, a Globe, and a Druid. We could just take another Globe and really solidify playing this Tameo. Let's look at curve again. Second Ceratok coming in makes me less interested in the Worm. Worm is, you know, Worm is not that much better than a Cerataka. It is better, obviously. You know, 7/6 frequently needs 2 things to be able to trade with it. It's like the 6 toughness versus the 5 toughness, though, that I think is the big deal here. Right. Marario and I are on the same page. Like, we're already doing the big green thing here for a little cheaper. So I'd rather take a globe, and we might not even play it, honestly. But yeah, we can consider the weird as well. It does get counters, which we proliferate and stuff, but we're gonna take the globe here. Yeah, might not be that relevant, but we're gonna. Looks like maybe we could have been the Charmed Stray deck, but I have no regrets there. And we probably just take another spinner. And are we running that? Well, we'll figure it out. It's definitely a spinner. All right. Sorry, Charmed Strays. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Not really any bombs. We just got synergies. I guess Evolution Sage is our bomb given our synergies. Haven't done a stipulation draft in a while. I wouldn't be against it, but mostly what we're about here is... I'm getting excited about closing in on completing this set. I've never... This is as close as I've had to a spot where I think the cats could have been potentially viable. Yeah, New Horizons didn't wheel. That's sad. But we do have splashing if we want it. I just don't know if we want it. We're not doing the Charm Strays no matter what here. I'm going to take a Defiant Strike. Could be all Charm Strays the rest of the way, and we still wouldn't. I don't like any of these. I'd rather, I guess, I can't imagine the scenario where I'm bringing Return to Nature in, though. If it's a white deck with, like, multiple enchantment-based removal spells, but there's just not a lot of that in the format because they didn't want army tokens to be so rough. Yeah, I guess we could bring it in maybe for gods, but I'd actually rather at that point just bring in a single transmutation if we were bringing in anti-god tech. But I don't think we're playing the worm. We have the beef we want. Stinger, or this is a splashable. I guess not really. If we were doing more with a mass, it might be splashable, but I do love the Invading Manticore. I think it's... So many times I've played that on 6 and breathed a sigh of relief, you know what I mean? But yeah, Stinger for Band Together works. Oh yeah, thank you for the craft cards reminder. Let's go do that. For those of you maybe newer to the stream or just joining us after hearing on LR, you know, I said we take gem grind very seriously around here, and we did some rare drafting, and we're going to augment it with some exit the draft wildcard crafting. So we have 1 Ignite the Beacon in our collection already, and we'll check on Elder Spell. I don't think I glanced, but we're going to go look up Elder Spell and Ignite Beacon. Let me know if I missed another rare that we should be looking up. And we're going to craft the 4th one here. And we're going to craft 3 of these. And now, even though we don't have 4x of the entire set, as we close out this draft, we're going to get extra gems. Bing! So I'm going to make a note of that in my spreadsheet. Another thing I do is track all of my results in a spreadsheet, which you can also look up some event EVs that can be useful. All right, this is free-to-play traditional draft war, and we ended up green white. I'll put it, yeah, well, I'm gonna say green white for now, and then I'll add to that if we need to, and we paid in gems. And we ground for 40 here. All right. Bonus gems. Well, we're a little light on the full-on counter proliferate synergy here, but let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, only 5 things that create counters. That's our big problem in the deck in terms of that synergy. But if we can get it going, if we can get a couple of those 5, then Evolution Sage becomes good. But I think I'm underwhelmed by this deck just because we didn't quite get the synergy connections we want. It is available for you to download, and all you need to do is go to File and then Make a Copy. If you go File, Make a Copy, then you'll have a copy that you can do whatever you want with. And if you don't have Google Docs, I mean, I recommend getting Google Docs access. You want to just do this, this. I think I want the Tamios Epiphany Splash. This is just a very powerful effect in a archetype that doesn't have a lot of card advantage. At least I don't want to cut it yet. Like, I could see doing this and not even playing islands. And yeah, I think we'll go to deck building. Get out of your way. All right, so now let's see. We are at 15 creatures here, 11 non. Yeah, I guess we cut the croc, although it is a great tray for counters, but we don't need that, dude. This is a fine beef contingent here. Stinger I do like in main for the band together, but it may be cuttable as well. Transmute against 1 arrow. I like that as a board option, Vaporkin. Like if they show us the things where transmutation is really great and they show us not blue. Another thing I don't like about transmutation main is that there's so much bounce in blue that if they're bouncing or sacrificing for value, then I really hate transmutation, so I'd rather start it in the board if we can. Glad you liked the episode, Tenno. All right, close here. Let's get this cut and get going. Can't cut anything that makes tokens. All right, maybe it is just easiest to do this because then we can start playing. Let's do this, and see how straight white green goes, and. Thundering Band. We like 9 forests. Yes, we do because of the Paradise Druid. Oh man, Ubermensch, if I swing a flyer into a reach, I'm just going to collapse into a heap. And do a little on-air weeping. Just a little on-air weeping. Get to battlefield view here. 0, because we cut all the blue. Oof. No low end, but we get a Bloom Hulk and a Pledge. If we draw a reasonable mix of spells, this is good. But 5 landers are just the worst. They are so floody. It's hard not to end up flooding on a 5 lander. I think Jeebus asks, any chance you do LR regularly as a third voice? I think both Luis and I have responded the same way to that suggestion of, I don't think so. Like, it's maybe occasionally it's fine to have a third seat on LR, but it's a tough dance with 2, and 3 makes it even harder. Keep on the play, but super marginal, yeah. Yeah, nobody else wants to take a stand. Vaporkin wants to mull. All right, let's... Oh, yeah, now we're about 50-50. Look at that. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to keep... You need to be lucky in Magic at some level. And this is just like one of the most powerful cards in our deck, as is the Bloom Hulk, especially together. So if we can just pull some creatures from here, I think we'll be in great shape. But again, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to groan. Drawing a bunch of land is just absolutely part of what could happen to us here. I won't. Watch. If we flood out, I'm trying to... This is following up on the episode theories and stuff. Groaning is not outright tilting, but it sets you on that path. I'm going to accept the risk I took and see what the deck has for me and not worry about it. We made the call we made, had our reasons for it. Band together. Yeah, I'm just going to play the 4. If we had gone, if we'd found some 2s and 3s to set up a Pledge of Unity into Hulk, that would be fine, but also just going to go ahead and curve out into a 4-mana 4/4, and that seems fine. Right on, Dr. B. Dr. BB. Glad you liked it. Obviously, they're gonna block, and we would try and Divine Arrow or band together. But we could just Conjure it this turn. They look stuck on color here. That means we should actually pressure them while we can. What we can do that I like is attack in, have Divine Arrow, and then also have band together at instant speed for any follow-up play that has 4 or less toughness. And then we untap with another great attack and the ability to Conjure it for 6. So that's what I'm going to do. And also all that talking probably makes him think that I'm deciding whether or not we want to offer that trade. And also it's good to know that if they did have something like Giant Growth there, we had the band together backup play. Now we're hoping they drop something that we're thrilled to band together. That is not something we particularly care about, so we won't waste any removal on that. See if they come up with anything else. Looks like no. That's pretty sweet. But right now we're going to look to attack with Bloom Hulk, see what happens. What's the diagonal monkey, Nick? I forget. I don't know what the card is. Am I holding it in hand or something? This is why Conjuring is so great. It goes in any deck, and even though it's kind of strictly worse than a 6/6, it's still amazing that it slots in anyway. Anywhere. Oh, that one. Yes, thank you. Diagonal Monkey. So even as a 3/3, this doesn't really matter to us. It does weaken the Conjurant, but I think we just ignore Huatli and attack, and if they want to use the Grazer to take 3 chunks out of the Conjurant, that's fine, because we have Conjurers, Courage and Crisis and Wanderer's Strike that are going to build the count, and Pledge of Unity that will all build counters back up, so Grazer taking a chunk out of Conjurant is probably its best case scenario, and now we have a great setup for Oppo's follow-up turn here. I think they were color screwed and couldn't stop any of that and had to be done. So we saw at least base green. Given the Huatli, it may be a mirror match. I'm expecting high toughness white creatures. And what does that mean to us in terms of board? Not much. I think we're just going back as is. I don't see any changes I want to make here. I mean, our real sideboard question is, are we ever bringing in a splash because we feel like we need to try and compete with a control deck on the resource axis on some level, or do we think the weird might be worth it? I don't think so. Oh, par for this one. I mean, I want to get to at least the 2 wins. I want to get our 800 gems back, but maybe 2.5. But 2 may be fair here. I don't think this is an amazing deck. We just ended up... The synergies aren't quite as good as we hoped, so if we draw stuff out of order or don't get enough things to proliferate for value upon, we could lose pretty easily, but like 2, a little over... 2 I'd be okay with, 3 I'd be thrilled with. Real fist pump if we can get our 1500 back on this one. Our weakness is control decks that have removal and card draw. We're not going to win an attrition war against blue-black, for example. I think I don't need to ask chat about this one. Figured that out. We'll keep this. Obviously... no creatures at all, but we got to keep this and find them. Well, that's a creature, but not one that we can keep here. There's an argument, like, my rule of thumb on mulliganing is don't be asking for 2 things, and we are asking for 2 things here. We're asking for land and creatures, but we've already mulled to 6. Like, if this were a 7, like, you know, if there were a 5th non-creature spell here, I would probably mulligan it as a 7, but we have to keep it on 6. Alright, we got exactly what we needed. Perfect draws from here would be land plus horizons. There's the land part. Now, might even use Battlefield Promotion as a quasi-horizons if we don't draw one, or just Courage and Crisis actually is great. So if they don't kill the apparition, we're in good shape. Stay alive, little one. All right, and they're red-green, so getting this apparition big should get it out of range of the early removal they could have, and then we just try and keep getting it bigger and keep it out of range of their scaling removal. And then come back and band together the weird if we need to. It's a bit all in. We could have, you know, with Proliferate, could have tried to get this going and on the links and everything, but we can still get the links plenty pumped up, and if the apparition isn't answered, we just win. So yeah, even the snare spinner isn't enough here. Interesting. I really want to get this links going. We could play the New Horizons to secure 4 mana next turn, but that's not even that important. Yeah, there's something to be said for just band and promotion here. We'll get 2 life eventually with the promotion. Links plus promotion. Well, we can't play both. Easy teasy. but I want to make sure we figure this out before attacking. But got the rope in 0 hourglass, so I'm going to go ahead and attack with the apparition at the very least. Ah, okay. Well, this is fine. Either... What might they be using here? If we let this happen and we take 3, do we have the tools to survive? We don't have the tools to survive, like Heartfire, right? Because there's an argument for just... Yeah, but if it were Heartfire, they would have just used it now, right? They wouldn't have done this. So I think we can go ahead and let them respond. Ooh, that's trouble. I took a risk. Well... Helix we can survive. It was the Heartfire that I didn't... Okay, great. Made sense in the end. Did I screw it up? Oh, I thought it did. Oh, that was my... you can punt the heck out of me for that. That was not knowing the card. My mistake. Honestly, this 2 life gets me. I keep thinking that I get +2/+2 out of that. No, I didn't expect the opponent to split. It was just a mistake. I literally thought that I got +2 to toughness. Literally thought I got +2 to toughness there. Looks like it might not have mattered with this dragon, but that's frustrating. I think we just punted this game. And we'll try to recover in the next one. Yeah, no, it's a real, like... Again, though, I'm not going to tilt. I just have screwed this card up. It's kind of up there with... I think that's my second screw up with that card as well. It's the second time, at least the second or third time I've misplayed that card, so that's frustrating. Alright, let's not worry about this one and come back and get the next one. I got this, no worries. Well, opponent's deck has some weakness, so let's... Yeah, they did 2 damage on the flyer, and I saw it. It was not misreading that. It was literally misreading my combat trick. Come on, Ryan, get it together on Battlefield Promotion. It's a really good card in this deck if you play it correctly. And actually, the other thing is, if I had thought through that, like, I thought we were safe on Pyrohelix. Like, people said, oh, it could be Pyrohelix, and I was like, oh, that's true, but that's okay, because we have an answer for that, and then we didn't. So, we'll keep that in mind next time, but I think we'll get him here. We're going to get him. Oh, come on now. Frustrating. Okay, we get another chance to use Battlefield Promotion correctly, and we're going to keep this. And don't exactly have the creature force to make this awesome yet, but it's so good for what we're doing, I think I want to keep it. I think that makes sense. We have a Divine Arrow to survive an early rush to get to the point where this is good, so I'm going to keep it. Did we get a forced landing for the sideboard? Maybe that's something I didn't look closely at. I can't remember now. I'd love to get a different 3-drop so that we can build something else with counters besides Light Shield. Well, that kind of qualifies. Although we could... Yeah, I'm going to play this and see if they have the Helix again. It's got a decent amount. It's not like chock full. I think we cut down to 14. But I'm not going to worry about the sample size we have and go crazy on anything. Getting off of 3 might help us. I'm going to go ahead and light shield here, though, and work up this apparition. It immediately gets it out of that helix range, at least. What's risky? Reset? They do have Jaya's Greeting, so we could lose Apparition to Greeting right now, but let's make him have it. Oh, sorry, thanks. I haven't updated my stuff. Appreciate that, Vaporkin. This record is all wrong.
Forge a path to victory.
There we go. No blocks. And land? No land. What do we want to do here? We can leave up arrow and probably get a good creature next turn. I think it starts with the apparition attack, and do we care about Huatli? I kind of feel like we don't. Should I just be going for the face? I'm gonna go for face right now, since we have removal for a lot of what they've got going on anyway. Do you care about the life gain? Not really. If they want to start doing the life gain, that's, I think, fine too, because they would be gaining life by us veering off to attack it. Yeah, Huatli makes the profit of 3/3, but what? Okay. Yeah, I want to try to get something with arrow here, I think. Although we do use all of our mana with band together. Hey, Valhalis, I punted pretty hard in game 2, so we're trying to recover now in game 3. Although then they went off with their powerful cards. I don't think we would have won game 2 even if I punted. It's not an excuse for punting, but it's at least like, well, I think we're going to lose that one anyway, at least. Yeah, we can end, because we can arrow. We have arrow and band together. They didn't show us any pump so far, right? We've only seen damage-based red spells, not any giant growth effects. Hopefully they're getting worried about the apparition. Aha. Now we really want to use the Divine Arrow so that we can band together and take out the Twister. Okay. I'm gonna keep going to face. Right on, Tron. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I was a little worried. Like, am I attacking into reach again? And then but we were good. And yeah, we're gonna band now. They're racing. We might just throw Light Shield in the way here, especially if they get the profit up. Well, I guess the profit's not going to be more than a 3/3. Good to see them scrying to bottom.
You look like a worthy opponent. I will help you through this.
We could take here, but then we're just dead to like a Heartfire, and I don't want to be dead to Heartfire. We're going to chump the rest of the way. Still going to face. One reason to throw Pegasus or Sage is that, well, we're threatening lethal. I guess we just play the spinner. It's got the biggest butt. Like if they had Helix and Heartfire, Spinner is the pick because they can't Helix away our 2 power and then Heartfire for the win.
Teamwork is strength.
We're kind of presenting lethal. Mainly we're presenting you have to use Huatli now.
Let me aid you.
Yeah, I guess we keep blocking.
If you see an assassin coming for you, that's a bad assassin.
Okay, well we could Sage and Apparate. Yeah, I'm not worried about Sarkon because we can't really beat it. I'm worried about whether or not we need to be diverting anything towards the life gain, or like, are we... Am I getting to a point where I can't get the win? I mean, here we can get... this can become an 8-8 this turn. How do we win next turn on Huatli? If I go to Huatli, they stay at 11. This becomes a 7-7. Then I get 8, 9, 10. I'm not sure how we win. I think we're a little short on that plan. So... Pegasus or Sage? I guess Pegasus. I'll do this. Yeah, I guess we gotta get Huatli now, huh? I think getting Huatli is the... It may not be a win next turn, but it's the right play here. Beard Stachio likes face. I'm cool with this play. Then my question is, do we stop playing around Heartfire, accept some damage next turn, and try to come back the other way?
With every loss, there is wisdom.
Face is more damage, maybe long term, but I like reducing the Prophet's power. Nine.
Oppressors deserve whatever I feel suits them.
Yeah, maybe you're right, Beard.
We'll
Not
do
sure.
this together.
Well, no choice now. We will... It would have been, but we have to chump now. Oh, our land gets us close.
My synopsis. It may cost you more than just money.
I think we came up just short. Oh, and of course they did have the Heartfire, so... Yeah, I had to stop playing around Heartfire, but you can see it was right to play around it before. Maybe they just drew that. Well, disappointed about that misread punt in game 2, but I don't think it changed the outcome in this one. That was just a rough matchup there in the third game. I think we made some good choices, but yeah, even Beard Stachio's line doesn't help us there. Still want to be able to find the correct theoretical lines, even if none of them would have worked out. So interesting choices at least. But unfortunately, off on the bad foot. Now it's a real uphill climb. Got to win 2 straight matches just to get some gems back. But that is our par, so let's head out for it. The most tilt I have about that is losing to a deck in best of 3 that was running the vertical monkey. No, I didn't play fine. I don't think throwing away spells is fine, but I think overall we played fine. Didn't play perfect. We get to keep this though. Much rather have 2 land than 5 land. Let's see what we can do here. All right, 3rd land is great. Horizons into a big spinner, then maybe spinner and ban. There's a lot going on here. And they didn't even bluff attack the assailant. Always bluff attack in that spot. You never, like, we have a 1-3, they have a 2-2, we're tapped out. You got to attack first. I make this mistake too, so I'm not Lucy, I understand, but try to remember to attack when you have free attacks like that. So, yeah, we're just going to Horizons here. Let's get our mana going. Big spider also nice. An amazing draw would be, the perfect draw for us would be a 3-drop creature. What do we have 3-drop creature-wise? Light Shield. I'd take a Conjurant, a Pegasus, Crawl Stinger, Evolution Sage. Lots of great 3-drop creatures we could draw that would allow us to go Snare Spinner, 3-drop creature, into Pledge of Unity, into Bloom Hulk, and, you know, it would just go nuts there. So... they did not bluff attack Assailant into the Snare Spinner last turn, but now they're totally in. Nice to hear, SMTN. Glad you liked it. Maybe This hand is so good, though, if our creatures just survive, but then again, the whole point of having these creatures is to be able to block and live. Alright, we're gonna risk it and make Lucy prove to us. Because even if it's a... yeah, it might be that trick, but why wouldn't... why didn't they... they must have just drawn that. Now, unfortunately, yeah, maybe I should have just taken it. Traditional draft, if you hit play, you get the full suite of options. Not the worst, but I think if I knew for sure, if we knew it was Divine Arrow, I would have just taken that and gotten our stuff above Divine Arrow range, because it's not too hard for this deck to do that here. Snare Spinner cannot play along with Band together, so I think we just play the Hulk. We're also both apparently stuck on land now, so we'll see if they have anything else that makes them want to attack in here. If they do, I might have to respect it and just try and get to 5 toughness. I think you're right, Hayes. I got a little... I think I talked myself into Oppo not being, you know, like that they were making a mistake, but I shouldn't have. I should have given them credit. But the other thing was, I felt that if they did have something and we passed on triggering it there, they were just gonna trigger it eventually and get something, and I didn't want to fall too far behind, but we'll see. Good. That says they don't have anything else. They would just be willing to sacrifice something, you know, for taking it out. This, with 2 instant speed removals, I think we're going to be able to get them with on-crop invader activation. I was going to play the Snare Spinner, but I think I like Apparition plus Band Together / Pledge of Unity up, and then try to get him with Invader. Get the Invader after they do some sacking or whatever. Well, if they have a counter trick, we could be blown out. If they don't have a counter trick, I think we're in good shape. If they don't do anything, I'll probably just Pledge of Unity, although I guess we get Snare Spinner next turn if we wait. We'll see. Maybe we just band together something that we don't like anyway. No, they're doing it. So we get a 2-for-1 here. Ooh, if they send the links as well, it implies they have another trick. But the band should still be good enough. Yeah, this is interesting now. That attack with the links changes things a bit, but we have to follow through. I mean, you can't just... You think they're trading the links off for damage? Nick, if they're doing that, why wouldn't they attack with that assailant as well? It's not just... That's the thinking that that got me our dead spider. We'll do this, though. I'm blocking the links. Or blocking the invader. Yeah, I could band and not block. But also, see, that made them spend, so now they don't... Now they only have, like... There's nothing left for them to have. guess, I mean, there's that... Yeah, I guess it's pausing for them because they could still sack something, but I don't think they have a spell here. Yeah, the Gideon's thing, I can't even remember what the Gideon's spell does, but it wasn't like an actual worry for us, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, Defiant Strike, but that doesn't help, right? Mainly, there was nothing at 1 mana I could come up with that thwarted our plan. And speaking of plans, I'm going to go Snare Spinner. And then... Z. You just tap Z and you can undo. We could keep Band Together open, or we can get the Pledge going. I think we just get the Pledge going here. Makes everything pretty huge on our side. Oh, that's nice. Guess we want that. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this and attack with Apparition. No, says someone who doesn't like this attack. I guess that wasn't playing around Defiant Strike, but I think we would have seen it by now. I mean, if anything, just to cycle. Like, I wouldn't leave... When they're up against this, you gotta cycle something like a Defiant Strike. So they would have had to have, like, just drawn it, and I wasn't gonna play around that top deck. And I could also probably start attacking with the Hulk, but don't feel the need yet to even offer that. Knowing that the Apparition was going to connect via Trample or via not being blocked. Yeah, good point, Eddie. One of the reasons I did it is I thought that if they were going to chump, it would be nice to have the Trample so that we still connect for the Proliferate. And again, the only risk there was specifically a card they would have had to have top decked that turn. So there was some risk, but I felt it was warranted, but maybe not. Maybe the chance of them even chumping there is not high enough to even bother risking the Defiant Strike. So we have a Steady Aim, but none of the good Take Him Out of the Sky cards. Just because we were talking about that before, what we have. So I don't think we're changing anything here. Sure, nothing to put counters on yet, but we'll keep this. Snap keep, it's just not amazing. There's our deck we could have had. I mean, if they come up with like 3 Charmed Strays, it's trouble, but they got to do that. apparition or links. Let's, with nothing to proliferate, let's get the links going. I mean, you can put him on a range for Defiant Strike because it's a, you know, it's a playable card. It's got such a high floor. You could expect it from PV's white deck, you know? But I'm gonna say no blocks. Well, we could block and trade and then eventually arrow the Stray. And then... But we don't want to trade our creatures. We like our creatures. We like having creatures for band together and for some of our go wide, proliferate counter stuff. Don't have attacks into the shield, though, unfortunately. So we'll drop Apparition here. Hey, Timnos. Oh, you're saying hello to Nantuko. Hey, Nantuko. It's like, I thought Timnos was already here. All right, still no good attacks for proliferate, but we're not blocking with the apparition, and they don't have flying blocking, so we're going to attack. If they arrow the apparition, so be it. So be it. We don't have anything like. It would actually be great if apparition were a lightning rod for arrow right now, because we don't have anything for it. And we have our own arrow. Try to take out that Stray, maybe? Do we need to trade off this Lynx now? I mean, we've got Ceratok coming. I kind of like... So we need to trade this off. I guess we trade for the Stray. No, I like Arrow. I'm gonna do this. They were playing it. Let's see. So choose a creature or planeswalker you control. All damage that will be dealt this turn to you and permanents you control is dealt to chosen permanent instead. And how do I know? Okay, so they're just going to... So then we'll Divine Arrow the Stray in response. And then we shore up with Ceratok. We have to take one from the invader, but they can't win, right? If, like, yeah, my question is, like, do we need to just take out the invader now? I really don't want to lose because we failed to take out this invader, but they can't kill us with what they've got, and they need all of their mana to basically do it. So I'm going to go Ceratok attack with Apparition. And see if they even want to attack. See if they even want to threaten it. Is the 1 point really worth it? I mean, I'm not... You think we're going to block with it? Like, what? I would only leave this back if I thought we needed to block with it. No, I think they choose on resolution. It gave me no indication of where they were going to move the damage. But I like Snare Spinner and Sit on Band together here. Yeah, Pledge would be amazing right now. Would love anything that put a counter anywhere, frankly. Just let's do something with this Apparition, but especially I'd love to get it on the Apparition itself. Well, it's kind of a case study, Sunset, on why we have kind of a weak version of the deck and why I set par at just 2. We just don't have... We have 5 things that generate a +1/+1 counter at all. And so I think the lesson is if you're going to be green-white, you better have those synergies, excuse me, tightened up. We could ban, but I still don't feel the need to. Okay, there we go. Got what I asked for. And we still have banned mana. And I do want it on the Apparition itself, so we're just going to start trying to pump the Apparition here. That sounds like a game of Magic you won there, Nantuko. I think so. I'd rather run a Light Shield than Teo. Sounds like they well understood their outs, Nantuko. We're chipping away up top. We've got a removal spell up and another in the wings, so I'm feeling pretty good. Oppo may get desperate at some point and try to do something with that invader, in which case that's where the band together comes in. Soon like now, Nick? There isn't one where I show them off, but I could do that sometime. I've been meaning to make more YouTube content. Well, there's some risk here with what they may have going in their hand, but I like these blocks and show us what you got. Do you like risking this Ceratok, or should I just throw like the Light Shield or? Sacked Proliferate, good call. So let's figure out what we want to do about that. Maybe the thing to do is Put a chump here. Could also just block here. I got one timeout. I think I'm going to use my timeout here. Because we could also do something... Yeah, I guess we got to go... I like Lynx, Light Shield, and this. Make him do some work with the invader and then really get him. I'm gonna do this. I do like Seratok on the invader to try and force even 2 sacks here, because I think they're just doing a desperation invader play. Okay, they got battlefield promotion. We're gonna let that happen. They get 2 life, but we still get to get a 3-for-1 here. Interesting that they went with that. I figured they'd go for the martyr. Yikes. Gotta make sure I don't screw this up. Woo! Running out of clock. And now we can just strike the battalion. And we should be pretty darn stable here. Maybe even stable to the point of attacking. Yeah, they're done. All right, got one back. Oops, one back, right? There you go. I'm going to get a beverage, and I'll be right back. Alrighty then. Yeah, we'll keep this. We can consider Conjurant on 2 since we get to New Horizons on 3. We'll see what Oppo does. Yeah, I like Conjurant on... Either we're doing Conjurant on 2, no value Horizons or whatever, but we go 2, 3, 4, and I like that, so we're going to do it. Ooh, I was just going to happily play the other Ceratok, but let's go ahead and band. And smash. All right, that was easy. Good time zone. Yeah, we'll keep this. I'm on my usual, the honey mustard onion pretzel bits from Snyder's. Yep. Oh, that was nice. Mo's a good boy, for sure. Maybe not an amazing boy, but a good boy. We'll do this. Token up here. Good boy means great boy. Good boy's like the best compliment for a dog. Yeah, no, well, on a magic level, I've been finding Mo to be fine. Good. Yeah. I mean, but it's just not, Mo's not a bomb or anything, not a bomb uncommon. Yeah, we can attack here. Sorry, I'm getting chat distracted, but so used to this Nair Spinner being back on D, but at this point, let's do some attacking. KBRD Smash agrees with one thing, but I'm waiting for the composition here that is no doubt coming from KBRD Smash. Love your perspective, though. No problems. Hulky Hulk. Good boy returns. Do we just want to strike it? We have band together, and they may try a double block. Let's see if they want to get... We have a lot of things that punish a double block, so I'm just going to charge in. And... I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to band together now, and then we have Divine Arrow for a potential attack from a Rising Populace. I still like trying to force a double block, double block blowout. Do it this way. And with the pressure we have, I'm going to make a 4-drop Conjurant. Because with the Wanderer's Strike backup, it's effectively lethal next turn. It's possible there are better ways to communicate the concept, KBRD. I don't think the time-traveling supercomputer is my greatest work as a communicator of magic ideas, but hopefully it has successfully done the job on some level. Hey, we made par. Look at that. We got some gems. Now, a lot of the magic content job I try to do is in the realm of framing ideas, framing concepts, and some frames are better than others. Some frames you look back on and say, well, maybe I could have done a better job of that one, but it's doing its work. You know, I have commented on how I've never been happy with calling Brian's most brilliant contribution to the LR universe, which is the notion of considering the different places in which a card is going to be useful throughout a game. But I never liked that it was called quadrant theory, because to me quadrants are about an x-axis, a y-axis, and 4 possible places you can be based on the 4 combinations of those 2 aspects. But quadrant theory ultimately still communicates the heart of what players need to know in that spot, so it's successful in that regard. But yeah, content is hard. Yeah, this is the free account. We're doing really great. We've had a nice run of late to really push up our free to play resources. All right, back in. Sorry, 93. I know you've asked that question a couple times. There's not really a step-by-step. Well, I did write an article. It's just it's pretty outdated. I think it's CFB. Is that right? So I think a lot of the concepts you may be looking to latch on to better are still in that article, but it was written before gem grinding was a thing. So, no, I don't mind double posts either. Interacting with chat is like the best part of this. It's the big evolution of video-based magic content, and I love it. And if you are trying to ask me something and I keep missing it, I mean, don't spam. I think your Dionysus is your high watermark there. You know, Dionysus is certainly has no fear of knocking on my door till I answer, and anybody can do that. Just don't be spammy about it, you know? Thank you, Wang Lu. Good morning to you. That's right. Did you listen to episode 2 of LR? Hey, cool. We got a light shield. I was just thinking about how we could use some counter potential given the evolution sage. And I think we could just go ahead and play the light shield here and start building up this Lynx and hope it lives. No attack, though. Thank you, 93. Appreciate that. That's great, Wang Lu. I still work on it. I didn't mention it on the show, but I had to really change my behavior. I had an okay, Ryan, get it together moment when my wife kind of had an intervention with me and was like, look, you keep getting mad at games and stuff that you're playing, and you'll say or yeah or God, and I'll bark in anger from wherever, from the computer, from my bedroom, me in the living room with my laptop or my tablet. And hold on, I'll finish the story after I decide my play here. Unfortunately, we didn't get a land for the evolution sage, so I'm going to play the Pegasus, and maybe we can start attacking with the Lynx in the air next turn. Anyway, my wife observed that, like, I know that you know that you're just mad about a game and that you're getting it out, because, like, part of the way I deal with tilt, and no, there's a current toxic version of Ryan, like, that I just have to be constantly aware of. Because part of the way I find that balance between caring about a game, because that's why I do it, and not caring so much that I let tilt and those experiences make my life worse, like, figuring that out is the big challenge. And what my wife pointed out about that spot is that in my world, in my perspective, where I have all the data, I'm just mad because I lost a game of Magic, and it's no big deal to me that that I have a quick outburst of emotion and then move on. For my family, they don't have that context. They might be thinking that I'm reading that someone we love has died, or there's a major catastrophe in the world, right? They have no context. To them, it's all hugely important. And so I've really taken that to heart. And it's okay for me to feel emotions about a loss as I process them, but I really need to not punish my family. And my dog is the canary in the coal mine. When I get upset, Rocket is the first one out. Rocket just, like, goes out his dog door and hides outside. And so I know if I go, like, you can see Rocket go away. So he's the most sensitive. So it's kind of funny that way. All right. I'm trying to draw a land, and now I'm off that topic. Let's focus on winning this game. All right, they got our... We have Arrow. Maybe they'll block. Let's see if we can get him with Arrow. I think they'll see it coming, but you never know. My favorite archetype, I really do like playing the blue-red deck. I've always liked playing blue-red decks. We'll make, if they want to do something here to take out the shield, that's fine. I mean, that's an impressive way to take out the shield, I suppose. Now we got to get enough beef on board to be able to band together that, and land is the first thing we need on that front. So let's go Sage into Forest. Yeah, I could also drop the Stinger to trade with it. That's true. We'll see what they do. If they come up with more counters for the army token, obviously we'll then fall back on Stinger, but I'm hoping we can just band it. We'll see. See if they come up with even more counters here. Yikes. I mean, mainly I just wanted to get the Sage going. Like, I was just so excited to finally be able to proliferate off Sage, so... Now we can get Stinger in band. If we can survive a turn. We'll see if they even want to attack into the Stinger. If they've got removal for the Stinger, we might be in trouble. But, and I'm going to attack with the Lynx because I'm not going to block with it. Like, let's say they remove the Stinger. Are we blocking with the Lynx, or are we taking 10? I guess in that case, we're blocking Tolsimir, so I better not attack. I'm gonna copy your question and answer it at the next break, 93. Good time zone to you, Nolan. All the way from Brazil. Excellent. Yeah, I can represent another arrow here. Although it wouldn't even happen yet. Uh-oh, I left the robot on. Who knows what it's sucking up into its guts. Well, now we're compelled to block, and we don't have the... We might need to chump with the links. Let's see what they do here. This is interesting. But I think to win, we may need to assume they have nothing else. And chump with the links, take some damage, and the next turn have instant speed, sting... Oh, excellent. Oh, that is amazing. Amazing. I'm gonna... The noise is bugging me. I'll be right back. Okay. Hopefully this emboldens them to attack and we get the band together. Take out a 6/6 and an 8/8. Ah, come on. Wow, what a last card. That's why you run it, though, I guess. Do we show them anything? This is only game 1. Let's see. Nothing is gained by casting the pledge, so I don't know why I'm thinking about that. We just let this go. And I guess we actually have enough... Oh, no, we're straight dead. I forgot about the trample. Why did I block that way? What do you mean, why? Like... Because we were playing like they didn't have anything? Why... Right? Because they both had trample? So we take trample damage from one and the other just dies, so we want the biggest one to... What? Oh yeah, you're with me there. Okay. Yeah, I didn't... I forgot the trample. Pledge would have kept us alive one more turn, and then, but we're dead to... Yeah, I mean, I guess we draw, but our outs are thin there, if any. Yeah, that is the... KBRD is asking something. I'm gonna copy that as well. I have another kind of optimization question to answer, so we'll do some optimization Q&A after this match. Still probably dead, but process and decisions, not results, right, Robert? So the mistake was failing to do the math, and at least it's possible it's even better that we didn't show him we have that, but all right, this is a good 7. No bomb rares. We took a couple for gems, but no, this is a no rare deck. I'm going to go Pegasus attack and then just play Pegasus. I suppose we could have seen that coming. But it's still a 1-for-1. I'm going to Light Shield ahead of Hulk here. Take a turn off to put a counter on the Pegasus. And try to turn it into a 4-4. Archangel, thank you for that. Ooh, interesting. Well, I could New Horizons the Light Shield ahead of the Hulk, and that gets us more proliferation. And we can attack with the Light Shield for actual damage here. And then Hulk comes down and makes everything a little bit bigger. Basically, is it worth putting off the Hulk to... Yeah, because we could also go Horizon Spinner, so we get 2 spells. Yeah, that probably makes it worth it, right? A little bit of extra value there that we get to do 2 spells this turn. Hexproof and Menace. Unimpeded, we'd attack for 6, but they're rolling over our stuff in a way that makes me think we're going to lose a Pegasus here. Indeed. No, not unless, from a value standpoint, Sealed is the worst gem value on the system. Your cost per event, your cost per game, gem-wise, is the worst with Sealed. That being said, we're all about fun, and we're all about playing the way towards your goals. If you're practicing for a Magic Fest in the format that's on Arena, play some Sealed. Right on, Madman Quail. Appreciate that you liked this show. Yeah. I guess we Ceratalk now. It's not like proliferating the Light Shield does anything. Jay did a 1,000-Year Storm deck and took a look at the counter-based wacky format for the weekend. Vraska's finisher? What's this about? I don't care. You got it. Jay Schneider is a guest I have on Friday afternoons. Jay Schneider is the original deck designer of the Sly deck, the famous mono-red curve-based deck from the mid-90s that redefined how deck building was thought about in that era. And he enjoys brewing on Arena, and we like to have him on and talk some Constructed on Fridays. Although, heads up right now, he is unavailable next Friday, so he will not be around next Friday. This is, oh, I know why they attacked, because they have, commenced the endgame, yeah. Funky But Loving has it figured out. Let's see, if they commence the endgame, they lose one card, and they make a 6/6, so we're gonna no attack, and, Bloom Hulk. I'm not going to wait on Bloom Hulk. It's not worth, like, trying to get extra proliferate value. I want them to commence the endgame so we can Wanderers strike it. Oh, but it's going to have hexproof. That's a bummer. That probably puts it away. It's going to be pretty tough for us to come back from that. I said Funky But Loving, because that's the name of somebody in chat. I don't pick your weird-ass names. Kind of waiting to die, so what's our plan here? Let's see, we need to... They need to have, like, nothing, which seems unlikely. For starters, I mean, we just... we need to... hope that... Here's the thing, if we block, and they have... It's not even worth throwing these in, because if they can remove either of these, it's a total blowout. I think what we do... We could also try and... I guess we don't have another exile effect. Yeah, I think we start with everything on the Overseer, because then at least we have outs to, like, Conjurant into something. You know, let's just, let's start by trying to take out the boss here. I don't think it's going to matter. We're down a game. I'll worry about sideboarding if we can actually pull this out. So yeah, that play protected around exactly this. That's why I was really worried about going after the zombie army at this point.
There's no accounting for luck. Maybe you're looking to elevate.
Wait, what?
Perhaps a pair of stilts.
Okay, Dovin, thank you. Appreciate that. I think we have to attack. I kind of want to leave them Dovin if they're going to keep doing that. Oh, because it's until your next turn. So if they, it doesn't actually stay. But I think we go ahead and take it here. If they do, if there's instant speed and mass 3, this could be a mistake. But I think we'll take this here.
You're studying contrasts. I'm excellent, and you're, well, not.
All right, we can get a band together here, and we'd be all right. That is no band together, unfortunately. And now we're in a place where we need to do some chumping. So we're going to stay fully back and see if we can survive the turn. I mean, there's no reason to play it, really. I guess it does make that bigger. But it's not... The size of this, I don't think is going to be the difference. But I suppose I put a counter on it and it's better. So not much to do. Let's see, we can go like this, and like this. It was a real mistake, because now if I do draw the... I'm totally going to draw the band together now for max punishment. Yeah, it was totally a mistake. I was playing it off as a minor mistake, but it's pretty big. This would be major to have a 4-7 right now, right? Still not enough though, because we can't even beat this. So it ultimately didn't matter, but it was not a minor mistake. I should definitely have played to give the Sage a counter on the Light Shield. Ultimately, going to be fruitless here. We just don't have the tools. We can give him make him attack, but there's just no. The way Oppo is using Dovin. Oh yeah, I guess it would, but no, not. We just. It's instant speed. Yeah, doesn't shut it off, just one more. And because the damage, like right now, is when we would do it. And if they minus Dovin, you could basically respond to the minusing of Dovin with your band together. They might be a little nervous. We're showing 2 cards. They don't want to throw this game away, but I expect they figure this out. All right. Good job, Oppo. Well, we hit par. My expectations for this rare free white deck were pretty minimal. Pretty reasonable, I think, and we got there. Again, though, we're not results-oriented. We are play-oriented. We are choice-oriented. And if I review my play this event, there are a couple of disappointing spots. While I managed to not fly my flyer into any reach, I did repeat mistakes with... Battlefield promotion. I think I've made probably 3 mistakes now with thinking Battlefield promotion makes +2/+2. And that's something I'd love to correct and get that card locked into my brain now. So I'm really trying to focus on that that RTFC mistake so that I can make that the 3rd time the last time. And oh, we're going to be just doing what we could do. I'm not sure where Jay is. Madman Quail. Rocket is still, he's somewhere in between that. He's an old man dog now at 9. He's like middle-aged for his size, I guess. But he naps most of the time. You know, he's pretty chill. All right. Crack some packs. Go to Soapbox. We have some things to talk about. Organic Chicken asks, anyone have a good deck for the counter event? Well, we certainly hope that Jay Schneider does. He's going to come on soon, and we're going to talk about that, among other things.
I know my responsibility.
All right, we got our packs. Let's do... I'm going to say goodbye to the YouTube channel. See you, YouTube friends.